guys, so this video has been in the works for over a year, I'd say. I haven't been working on it for over a year, but it's definitely something that I started a year ago when I asked you guys to send me what your symptoms look like when it comes to your mental illness. As you guys know, it's basically my life goal to end mental illness stigma, which, can I do it alone? No, not really. I think talking about mental illness, sharing my story with it, my experiences with it, I think that is what's really gonna help. And yes, I'm standing today because there's no way I can film in my room with how hot it is today. Basically, mental illness stigma exists because we don't normalize it with physical illness. We see them as two separate things. One is fiction, one is reality. One's black and white, which it is. Mental illness is definitely more of a gray area. Psychology is a soft science, but there is definitely science behind mental illness. It just gets a little bit more tricky because it's harder to diagnose, harder to treat, and it's different for everybody. I think that is the basis of stigma against mental illness. It's not so black and white. We can't go into a doctor's office and get an x-ray and say, you have depression. We can do that with a broken bone. We can do that with cancer. It's so black and white. You see it, it's fact, it's there. But we can't always see mental illness. It can't always manifest itself into physical symptoms like it sometimes can. And that's where a lot of people have issues comparing mental illness to physical illness. But I think that is the only way that we can fight it, is to prove that it's actually out there, which I don't know why we don't already believe this. I mean, it's common sense, right? Statistics are outrageous. If you haven't yourself experienced a mental illness, chances are you know someone who has. So why is it that all the stigma is out there? Why is it when someone opens up about going to therapy, taking medication, mental illness symptoms, having them, admitting to them, depression, schizophrenia, anxiety, why are these such taboo words? It would be absolutely ridiculous if we talked about physical illness like we do mental illness. Oh, why don't you just try meditating? Like, meditating, that'll help your cancer. Like, don't you know, you just have to be in a positive mindset. You just gotta be more positive, man. Yeah, that'll cure it. It's because of the stigma that people are more afraid to open up to their families, their friends. They're more afraid to reach out for help, especially to the professionals. I think a lot of people have it in their minds as well that having a mental illness or speaking out about it is to get attention, to get noticed, to have, like, they have a goal in mind. But I think it should be treated like any kind of assault situation. Shouldn't we believe them until proven otherwise? I've seen a lot of YouTubers make videos talking about their experiences with mental illness, and I see the comments on these videos and they're saying that they're just trying to get attention, they're just trying to get views, completely doubting their whole experience with it. But shouldn't we just automatically believe someone? I know it sounds way too trusting, way too naive maybe, because there are those people out there, the bad eggs that make it bad for everybody. But the last thing you want to do to someone who maybe is suicidal, who's doing something like online that's saying that they're suicidal, the last thing you want to do is nothing. You don't want to sit there and be like, just getting attention. The most important thing that we can do, like as a community, just as people, is to open up and say it's okay to say that you have a mental illness. I'm not saying you have to sit here and open up about your mental illness to all these strangers out there. You don't have to even open up to your friends and family if you're not comfortable with that, although that will help the situation, just saying. The most minimal thing that you can do though is sign a petition, or, you know, retweet something that maybe will help someone else. There are some awesome petitions going around right now, one in particular called Okay to Say. I signed it personally. It's based in Texas, but overall it just has a great standpoint. I just believe in what they are talking about and what they stand for. It's an awesome movement, so I'll have a link to it down below, and please just sign the petition. It doesn't take anything. You don't have to share your story, although I highly recommend that you do. There's also another amazing movement called Bring Change to Mind, which I have a link down below. You can share your story on their website, which is amazing. There's also a video I will link down below. Just any kind of information or, you know, Twitter pages, anything like that that I love regarding mental illness and stopping the stigma and everything, I will link below. So click on everything, sign all the petitions, share all the stories down below, follow everybody. This sounds like a sponsored video at all. I assure you it's not, but I think it's really important that these kind of movements get support, because these are the kind of things that get people talking, and opening the discussion is the first step to ending any kind of stigma. And I just want to thank each and every one of you that submitted a selfie to me to include in the beginning of this video. It made me cry so many times editing this video and watching the intro. Like, it's just been such a work in progress for me, and I'm just so proud of it, and I hope that you guys love it too. Feel free to share your story down below. I just definitely want to do more psychology related videos because I think that is just my life calling, you know, to be in the psych field, which you guys know, I almost have my bachelor's. I talk with my hands a lot. You know, I'm going to be working in the psych field soon, and I want to include a lot more of that on my channel because I have this great platform, which I didn't start as a psychology channel by any means, but I have this great platform to work with, and I just feel like I need to do something that I feel like I am an activist for, and that is definitely mental illness and fighting the stigma of it, and it's just definitely one of my passions, you know? Please feel free to leave some psychology topics that you'd love for me to cover down below, and I hope this gets the discussion going. Make sure to tweet using the hashtag #MindOurFuture. Make sure to sign the petition down below for okay to say. Just doing these little tiny things are actually major steps into fighting the stigma of mental illness. Now, my mom has suffered with depression, and I grew up watching that, and I think that honestly impacted me a lot. It really impacted my decision to study psychology ultimately in school. Just seeing her go through her struggles, and she has some amazing quotes, man, and I thought maybe I could end every psychology video with an amazing quote from my mom. Hope. The letters would appear glowing white hot at the end of a branding iron because hope is the scariest thing. But hope is ultimately what will push you to continue on, and I know you can do it. I support you. I am here for you. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you soon. Bye. Walking down the road super slow, very, very slow, with her hands folded, and she stops in the middle of the T intersection, just like whoop.